North Carolina Representative Madison Cawthorn, as you see right here, he wants you to know he's a badass. Oh my God, he's a badass. He wants everyone to know he's a badass. And what better way to show everyone you're a badass except for tell everyone how much you want to shoot them and you want everyone else to get shot at the same time. That's badass. Let's go to this tweet that he had about his badassery. He tweets, "It is long past time we update our small arms arsenal and ammunition in this country. Why are we using slightly upgraded version of a Vietnam War era weapon? Let's make Halo look obsolete with our armaments." And he went on to say, in case people weren't really clear on that, when I say armaments, I make no distinction in military or civilian weapons. They should be the same. I make no distinction between military and civilian weapons. So the things that he's talking about that are past Halo, for people who don't know about Halo, here's some images from the video game, which is fake and not real. That's not a real person standing in front of you. This is what he's aspiring to get us to for civilian and military weaponry, because that's badass in America.
Yeah, so military armaments. I used to do this as kind of an exaggeration to show you, of course, all of our rights have limits. I love freedom of speech. This show is predicated upon it. But we give you the example all the time. You can't shout fire in a crowded theater because it might endanger people. All of our rights have some limits. And of course, for the Second Amendment, first of all, I think that it's very clear. It says for a well-regulated militia, that's the only amendment that has the word regulated in it. And it says it should be well-regulated and you're not in a militia. But even if you got past all that, do you really think it means any arms? Your right to bear arms? How about an RPG? How about a tank? I used to joke. Now it's not a joke. Here's Cawthorn saying, whatever the military's got, all right, let's load up with some nukes, everybody. Give me a Moab or two. Okay, he hasn't thought this through at all. Okay, I'm gonna unfortunately ruin all of his dreams of massacres and death everywhere, bloodshed, etc. And we'll get to his political insanity and civil war and all that in a second. But let me first ruin his dreams. If anyone could have those weapons, black people can have them too. Okay, so if you told all the right wingers, oh, the great idea that Cawthorn has, he thinks every black guy in the country should have an RPG and maybe a nuke. My guess is they're going to be against that idea real quick, okay? So that's not gonna fly, of course, because now when you say black people, you trigger their racism and what that comes with is, oh my God, they're violent though. Oh, that would be really dangerous. I wanna kill everybody, but they're violent, okay?
Absolutely.
And so then they begin to understand what we all already know, the rest of us that live on planet Earth. Yeah, there's a lot of unstable people in the world. There's a lot of violent people in the world. Giving them all nukes is probably a bad idea. By the way, giving them all guns is also a bad idea, but that's a whole nother thing. We lost that battle for now, and now he's moving on to armaments. Now, I'm gonna get to the real significant danger of this in a second, but first, Sabrina.
Honestly, not even the US military should have some of the weapons that the US military has, because look what we do with it abroad, and people want to bring more of that here. I do not understand, his goal with this. Does he want a coup or something?
Yes,
Why does he want civilians to be armed to the teeth? And I love how he kind of he didn't retract his statement later, but he came back and he's like, you know what? Yeah, I guess our military is pretty extremely patriotic. What is this deal?
They think it's a game. They think it's a game. And you talked about how as soon as you let them know, hey, black folks can have these weapons too that you're proposing. Wasn't that how the NRA was born? Because they were like, oh, guns everywhere, and then black folks started getting them. And they went, hey, we need an organization that limits the amount of guns black people can get while the rest of us get them. They would, NRA is destroying itself, but they would definitely have a resurgence for support for making sure, no, we meant us. Because there's still this thought process, and even outside of just black folks, they think only conservatives and Republicans like guns. Only conservatives and Republicans like to shoot guns. Only conservatives and Republicans would find a gunfight and be like, this is great, because we're Americans. We've all been indoctrinated into the gun culture, into thinking it's badass to have a gun and shoot at something and shooting at someone. Look how great I am at this. We got police officers, the reason they join the force is for qualified immunity, and then also to use the cool weapons. It's just, so as soon as you start giving it to citizens, and we know how the indiscriminate way that police officers use these weapons once they get them from the military, what do you think people in the streets are gonna do?
Yeah, no, I mean, guys, look, I don't know. There's right-wingers that watch us. I don't know what they think, if they really believe this. So he's talking about, it's past time that we upgrade our armaments in America. Like, we don't have enough armaments in America. We have more guns per capita than anywhere else by a landslide. I think Somalia comes in number 2. By the way, number of gun deaths in America, number 1 by a landslide. Somalia comes in number 2. Okay, so gee, can you tell the pattern? But I know you guys don't believe that. You think that you shoot rainbows and unicorns out of your guns and it hugs people and it makes them feel better. And you only kill the bad guys. I know. But do you really agree with them, with Cawthorn, that we should get military armaments in the hands of civilians? So you ever been in a situation where your folks are yelling at each other on the highway? Like you're on the roads and some unstable dude is all up in your business? Do you want that guy to have a grenade? Do you really think that's a good idea? Next you go, like, okay. I mean,
as long as he's not in a Prius.
Yeah, do you want JR to walk around with grenades when there's Priuses in the streets? Okay, no, and by the way, we can end this conversation instantly by saying running ads, weaponizing their racism against us. Madison Cawthorn wants to have every Muslim in the country to have bombs. I mean, that is what he's saying. He's also saying everybody else, right? But if you put it that way, they're like, ah! Okay, now, but look, there's a serious, super serious part of this. He's now talked about Second Amendment rights. He's now up to Get Matt Gaetz and other Republican congressmen. These are US congressmen talking about Second Amendment rights. And if somebody comes to my door, take action against the government, et cetera, et cetera. Look, and now they're celebrating, and Tucker Carlson talked about this. The North Vietnamese beat us with small weapons, munitions, et cetera. Like what they were, and the Taliban beat us. They were our enemies. Why are you celebrating Taliban and North Vietnamese, et cetera? And second of all, you're totally wrong. The North Vietnamese were incredible fighters, but they were funded by China and the Soviet Union. They had a ton of money. You and your Rambo knuckleheads in the woods aren't gonna get people to fund you. You're just gonna get slaughtered. And why are we talking about killing members of the military? And why were you so angry at Kaepernick for taking a knee during the national anthem if you're plotting murdering our US service people? Like, that is not disrespectful. All right, everybody load up your weapons, okay? Against government tyranny, we're gonna go murder some cops and military. I can't believe Kaepernick's taking a kney.
He's demoralizing the police force. He's demoralizing the police force.
Blue lives matter, let's figure out how to murder them. What? And they say it with a straight face because they don't know how dumb they are. And so, okay, go get triggered by that, if you will. You call this dumb when all we want to do is murder the people in the military and the cops and with Blue Lives Matter. What? I don't know, man. I don't know if you guys even understand the things that come out of your mouths. But Madison Cawthorn, in encouraging this, is yes, super goofy, but also dangerous, because unstable right-wingers listen to him and go, hell yeah, let's arm up. And if the military comes, man, we fight government tyranny. A lot of those groups have already killed a ton of cops. So if you're wondering who's a real danger to the police, it's a fact, you can look it up. And then they I remember the Vegas shooting in particular, not the biggest massacre we've ever had, another Vegas shooting where one of these right-wingers murdered a bunch of cops and then they laid down a "Don't Tread on Me" flag on their dead bodies. So understand the reality of the actual violence that happens in this country. Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.